Good morning students, welcome back to the class 11 subject accounts, and in today's lecture we are going with the new chapter. Chapter name is depreciation. This is the chapter number 7 for financial accounting part 1. In this we are studying about depreciation, how the depreciation is being taken care, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, what are the features of that debentures, and then how many methods are been there, how it is been used. We will study in today's video. In previous videos we have studied about trial balance, and in last video itself we have done the question number 3 for you. You can practice at home by watching that video, and you can solve the problems as I have already mentioned the question on the board itself. Make sure that you practice that trial balance question for the benefits. If you practice more and more, it will improve your knowledge on that particular subject and chapter. So in today's lecture we are going with the depreciation. First question in your mind is, what is depreciation? Every individual should think about what is depreciation, because depreciation is a new topic for you as an commerce student. You have heard about depreciation, but what is actually a depreciation you don't know. So be careful with the depreciation words. Now depreciation, I have a question and we have an answer also. Depreciation may be described as a permanent, continuing and gradually shrinking age in the book value of a fixed assets. So first two things I need to make sure that fixed assets are which are being used for more than 5 years are considered as fixed assets, like machinery and land and buildings are the example of fixed assets. Now what about book value? Book value means the value at which you have purchased the machine is considered as book value. I am giving an example of machinery because you would be asked more questions related to machinery. If you purchase the machine and at that time you have input as an transportation cost, it will be added in that machinery. You make that machinery come to your organization, it has an installation charges, that all things are being added in a particular machine, that is considered as book value. Book value means at the rate where you have purchased the machine, including all the aspects which are being added in it, it is considered as book value. And book value is ultimately a cost which has been used for the purchasing that machine. Next point is permanent and continuing. We are talking about permanent and continuing. Depreciation is ultimately reduced every year, and it has been reduced on fixed assets. What about gradually shrinkage? The meaning of gradually is ultimately slowly, progressively reduced. Shrink means reducing. So what happens here? You do the depreciation work, but depreciation ultimately goes down, 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 down. What happens every year? You have to do depreciation on fixed assets before tax. Before tax, be careful with that. If you making a profit, then you have to pay the taxes, but before taxes you have to apply the depreciation on the fixed assets which you are having in the organization. Or we can still say that depreciation is gradual and permanent decrease in the value of assets from any cause. For any cause, from any cause, depreciation is a permanent decrease in the value of assets. For example, if you purchase a mobile at I'll give you example today. If you purchase on today's date 9/12/2020, you have purchased a mobile which is costing of 1 lakh rupees. I am talking about one mobile which is having 1 lakh rupees cost. You know better than me. So 1 lakh rupees is an price of that mobile. You have purchased it, okay? And you have used very rarely, it is not being used too much, but still when you sell out the the same mobile in 2021, or let's take an example of 6 months. So 6/9/6/2021, you have sold out that mobile phone, but the price you will receive from the market would be 80,000, or even lower than 80,000, means 75,000. Why it is happening this? Because it has a reduced value. How much you use, how it has been applied, what is the market situation, all the aspects are being added. आप कोई भी चीज़ परचेज करते हो तो वो सेकेंड हैंड काउंट हो जाती है, आपने उसको यूज़ किया हो नहीं किया हो, इट डजेंट मैटर, बट इन दी एंड व्हेन यू सेल दैट प्रोडक्ट, एट दैट टाइम योर प्रोडक्ट इज सोल्ड आउट एट द लोअर प्राइस एज कंपेयर टू बुक वैल्यू. It is considered as depreciation. The amount gap is considered as depreciation. Depreciation is nothing but the reduction of the values of that particular asset is considered as depreciation. Now, this much is enough for the introduction, but how many aspects and what are the concepts of this we will study in detail one by one. So let's begin with the first part as features. What are the features of depreciation? The first point is it is decline in book value of fixed assets. Decline means reduction. Reductions in the fixed assets of book value. The book value which you have been taken care, it has a reduction in fixed assets. It is considered as decline. Next point is it is continuous process. Every year or every 6 months, company goes for depreciation to find out the exact value of that particular machine or any asset. Next point is it includes loss of value due to affliction of the time usage and obsolescence. The point has been said that it includes loss of value. Loss of value means the machine has a certain value, it is a loss. Means the machinery or machine has a certain period of time or it can be get expired later. So it is considered as due to affliction of time. Affliction of time means expiry of a contract or agreement. Expiry of time limit on agreement or contract. It is considered as affliction. But we are talking about machine. How this affliction of time has been taken care of machine. Machine is the tool where it has been used continuously and it is time bound. It takes huge time. If you say that if you purchase a new machine, the production will be high, but after 4 years, 5 years, the production will automatically get reduced. For example, if you have purchased new machinery, at that time that machine is producing a unit of 120 in 4 hours. In 4 hours. But after 4 years, it is near about 75 to 80. So there is always a reduction in unit also at the same rate of 4 hours. So this kind of things cannot be tolerated by the organization. So what happens? They ultimately find out the time limit of that machine. Before that, they sell out that machine as a scrap value and purchase new ones. This is considered as affiliation of time, usage and obsolescence. Obsolescence means the process of becoming absolute. Absolute means there is no production and there is no use of that particular machine, or we can say that it is an outdated concept. Absolution means it is the process of becoming absolute. What do you mean by absolute? Absolute means there is no longer production or produced or used. It is considered as outdated concept. That's why it is considered absolutions. Now, point 4 is been said. it is an expired cost and must be deducted before calculating taxable profits. Be careful with this. The word has been said taxable profit. Here, the cost of that particular depreciation, the cost of that particular machine has to be reduced every year before calculating tax for any profits. This much are the features. We will carry forward with the causes of depreciation and needs or objects of the depreciation. I'll rub it and write it and we will discuss further. Now the concept has been mentioned in the display. As earlier I told you that we will discuss about causes, needs and objectives and the factors or basis of that depreciation. All points are having four important points. So we will discuss with the first point, cause, depreciation causes. What are the causes of depreciation? First is wear and tear due to use or passage of time. Here it has been said that wear and tear. Wear and tear means you use that particular product and you go with that product more and more familiar. As you know that once you use that particular product, it will be used for a specific period of time, and that time always reduce your machinery performance, or any performance gets reduced because it is continuously repeatedly working for the organization. Or we can say that you store that product for nothing because it is not been usable by the organization. It is considered as passage of time. The passage of time is ultimately which are not being used. Many a times you go with the vehicle example. In day-to-day life, once your vehicle is not being used by you, it is been aside, because aside products are not being used many a times, and after a specific period of time that particular product gets one by one problems, and then that problems ultimately gives us an destruction of that particular product. So passage of time is also been there. Next point is absolutions. As already I told you, what do you mean by absolution? Absolution is the process where the product is being absolute. What do you mean by absolute? There is a no use of that particular product, or we can say that out of fashion. The product which are been out of date or up to date, it is not been there. That's why the depreciation helps us in this obsoleted product. Now next point is expiration of legal rights. Expiration of legal rights in the sense the machines which you are using, they are having a certain period of time. For example, if you are purchasing a vehicle, the vehicle has a certain expiry date which has been allotted by the company. Along with that, RTO, the Regional Transport Office, also provides you an expiry date of that particular machine. What happens? We ultimately repair that product, so that expiry gets extended. But if organization performs well and our policies are proper, then maximum of vehicles which are being used today, it would have been expired and it would have been scrapped. But it is not possible in current situation. What happens? Abnormal factors. Abnormal factors means the other things which are not being included in depreciation, it is also been added because of certain reasons, because of exploitation or destruction, any other factors which are causing depreciation, it has been added over here. Next point is needs or objectives. Needs or objectives. Why depreciation is needed? What are the main objectives of the depreciation? The first thing is to assert the true profit and loss, to find out the exact profit and loss. Second point is to consider of tax, to consideration of taxes. If your profit and loss statement is perfect, then you can calculate your tax easily. Third point is to assert the true and fair financial position, to find out where you stand in current situation after deducting depreciation, complying with legal provision. Depreciation helps in complying the perfect methods of legal processing. or we can do provisions for the particular decisions of the company. Next part is factor basis. What are the factor basis? Be careful with this. We have to use this in solving the sums. First factor or base, you should have a cost of assets. Means whatever the asset it is, the value should be there. Next part is estimating net residual value. Be careful with this word residual value. Residual value have different values. First, when I was studying that time, there was only one word known as scrap value. Okay. So scrap value is nothing but you have to reduce the cost price minus depreciation. The total depreciation has been reduced, then the scrap value occurs. If you want to find a scrap value, okay, I am writing short form, so you should be understanding that scrap value, how they calculate. Cost of assets minus total depreciation. This formula is being used to find out scrap value or residual value or salvage value or break up value. These all words are meaning same as residual or scrap. All the things are same. Next point is depreciation cost. At how much percent or which method you are using for depreciation is important. Estimating useful life. The machine which you are using there is having a certain limit of that particular product. That particular limitations are important for depreciation purpose. How much year you want to use it, that is also an important factor. Because of that scrap value or cost of assets, or we can reduce the depreciation, we can find out the actual performance of that particular machine for how many years it will be performing well. So these are the factors. In next video we will study about the methods, and then we will try to do one sum on that particular lecture itself. That's it for today. Thank you.